Welcome back to the show. We got a lot for you today, but you know what? We may see a double-digit XRP in the next 40 plus days. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, we're back under $4 trillion for the crypto market cap. We're at $3.94 trillion, and we're off 5.2% right now. You know, if you're scared, say you're scared. I know I'm not scared. I'm literally thinking about buying this little dip we got going on right now. Yes, even at $3.30, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, after 8 years of discipline buying the dip, I can't help but feel like I want to buy the dip again today. I mean, you know, if Mrs. Backup was here, she would kill me, I'm telling you. Right now, Bitcoin 117,000 plus, Ethereum 3,600 plus, XRP 330 at the number 3 spot. We're off 5.6 on the 24-hour, much like the market is, but we're still up 11.5 on the 7-day. Let's look at the range of price here. It dipped and spiked all the way down to 324, ladies and gentlemen, and as high as 357. So currently falling like a manhole cover from the sky. We'll have to see what goes on. But if this continues for the next few hours here, I'm probably going to be buying a dip. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's in me at this point. I just can't do it another way. Just like the fact that you guys know I keep my assets on multiple different platforms. And this is one of those trusted places. It's iTrustCapital. And all you have to do, if you're interested in the IRAs, which by the way are the best in the industry, and that's not even a joke. That's a fact, Jack. And if you're a new customer, you get a $100 funding bonus. Listen, no monthly fees, 1% trading fee. The PCA account is another institutional custody account, but you don't have to have it in an IRA. So now they're offering two different versions here. You get the IRA side, the Roth, the traditional, the SEP. You get the institutional custody side if you just want to have an account that's safe for you to put your assets. Now, this is the PCA is a closed system account. It's a closed loop system, and this is done intentionally. And this is done for the people who are long-term holders. They're not traders, and they want to make sure that they help remove that attack vector from you and what happens to you out here in this crypto world. How many times have we seen somebody, your friend, you, myself, I've had it happen, people that I trust. Listen, SIM swap attack. I've clicked on a link in an email before, and then my life goes insane for the next 3 months trying to get it all back again. It only takes a hustle, only takes knocking you off your game for a split second. So why take that chance? You go to iTrustCapital.com/XRPArmy and click the PCA account and get institutional grade custody for free. There's only one flat rate. There's no monthly cost. It's a 1% trading fee, but you will come out in cash. You may go in cash or crypto, but when you come out, it has to be in cash. It can only go to your bank account, your checking account. So God forbid, if you do make a mistake and you click on something and the hustle gets you, you know that the worst thing that could happen with your assets in this account, that it gets sent in cash to your checking account. And this is the kind of stuff that iTrustCapital wakes up thinking about trying to do, make it safer, feel better to be in this space. And I'll tell you something else too. For the last 6 years, I've had an IRA with iTrustCapital. And any time that I've been hacked in 23, when I got hacked really badly, I never even worried about it. I went in there and checked, but I knew it wasn't a worry in the world because I knew it was on an iTrust platform. I knew I had institutional grade custody. And you know what? Now you can get it with the PCA too. Make sure you check it out because I tell you, with all the exchanges that I'm on, one main thing steps out to me, and it has to be a feature of every place that I put my assets. I got to be able to get the best night's sleep I've ever had since I've been in crypto, and the platforms I use allow me that, and you will get it too. Click the link below and get started. iTrustCapital.com/XRPArmy. Don't mess around. People are loving it. Ripple just moved again 200 million plus XRP to an unknown wallet. Oh, well, let's build on that. And this is from Vet. Shout out to VetXO, who was an incredible moderator. And by the way, selfishly, I got to meet him in person finally. Vet is awesome, by the way. And if you get the chance to meet him in person, you should do so. He's super smart and very, very kind. 2 new XRP Ledger accounts activated by Ripple with 200 million XRP in each. He says, I don't believe these are Ripple-owned accounts. Ripple typically configures their XRP accounts with the proper account sets and multi-signer, and he's not seeing that here. So who could these accounts belong to? Oh, it's getting fun. And how about this right here? Hester Purse. The future SEC tech stack may include cross-chain real-time investor alerts and shareholder voting directly in wallets. Take a listen to this. Shout out to Paul Barron.
Let's talk about tech stack for the SEC. Real-time notifications. I'm thinking cross-chain when you get into things that are happening across all these different blockchains that could get into, this is an example we're showing on screen right there with MetaMask using kind of a push concept. What about doing something like that?
Well, I think that that's some of the interesting promise of this new technology is that I do think it allows for interesting new ways for companies to communicate with shareholders. But the potential is really there, I agree, to get information to people more quickly and maybe can help with some issues around voting as well. So I think there's just a lot to be investigated there. Sometimes we think about new technology and we think about it in terms of all the problems it's going to create for regulators to deal with, but there are also some real potential benefits that come with new technology that can enable us to achieve our regulatory objectives more efficiently and effectively.
Hopefully you guys will be right there at the cutting edge of where all this is going.
Well, regulators are usually not at the cutting edge. I mean, I'm just going to level set here a little.
Shout out to her for the candidness, no doubt about it. Look at the smile, Paul's laughing. Yeah, the SEC is not really known for being an innovator, right? But nonetheless, on the regulatory side of the fence, RegTech is another wave of adoption that no one is talking about. It will streamline the oversight of activity without bogging down the regulators themselves. This is absolutely accurate. We've heard Chris Giancarlo talk about this a long time ago and very often. And this is what we're talking about look, what did Gary Gensler try to do with regulation by enforcement? He tried to regulate the entities by smashing them and suing them and threatening them, right? When in reality, what we need is RegTech, which is regulator nodes on all of these networks that are moving payments and value. The RegTech nodes can then monitor the activities on the network, just the same way that a cop does radar on a highway. No one's going to pull you over unless you're doing something suspicious or illegal. So this is the way we need to see our protocols run, the same way that we need to see regulators oversight on these networks. So I think it's a huge step forward, and obviously it may still take a little time, according to Hester Purse. Meanwhile, UK considers pausing the creation of digital pound. The Bank of England is reportedly rethinking its CBDC plans and saying tokenized bank deposits could make Bitcoin unnecessary. Now, tokenized bank deposits are also a conversation that we had at XRP Las Vegas 25 with Greg Kidd on stage. Remember, he bought Vast Bank, brick and mortar bank, and has launched USBC stablecoin from within the banking regulatory framework as tokenized bank deposits. And the Bank of England is discussing the same possibility. And this sounds like they may ditch the CBDC plan and go to a tokenized bank deposit, which means stablecoin regulated within the financial system or the banking framework. We'll keep an eye on it. Here we see breaking CoinShares Asset Management becomes the first firm in continental Europe to receive MiCA authorization, combining MiCA, MiFID, and AIFM licenses for full EU-wide crypto portfolio management. This is the kind of proliferation and acceptance and embrace we want to see, and it's happening around the world. Look, let's not lose sight. Mike already had the regulations out for the EU, but seeing this kind of embrace and bringing coin shares in here like this is all timely. At the same time, we just had the Genius Act become law in the United States, and next up is the Market Infrastructure Bill, which I believe will send this market parabolic. Ripple's trust bank charter bid could redefine U.S. financial law. This is according to EGRPRA review allows regulators to approve crypto banks without Congress. Oh, yes, it does. I went into this thing here. And essentially, EGRPRA, Economic Growth and Regulatory Paperwork Reduction Act, which takes place once every decade, is now underway and will continue until July 2026. This review allows top financial regulators like the OCC, Federal Reserve, and FDIC to update banking laws without needing Congress to act. This feels very much like an FSOC move, right? But it's really this oversight act that allows this to happen. And this is all prudential regulators that are named here, not market regulators, prudential regulators. They sit above a market regulator like the SEC and the CFTC. Just a note, right? Nonetheless, what they're saying is that this act could allow these prudential regulators to make the shift necessary so that the Circles and the Ripples have applied for their national trust bank charter, in which to allow it to operate in a completely different way from traditional banks. So instead of taking deposits or offering loans, Ripple Trust would manage stablecoin reserves, settle tokenized assets, run smart contracts on blockchain networks. And this is pretty interesting. Mr. Mann, legal expert, referred to this review as legal bypass, meaning regulators can make significant changes to financial rules without the usual political process. This is correct. According to the act, this is correct. So he points out here which governs how the Fed processes such applications. Typically, once Ripple application is made public, there's a 90-day window for review. However, the Fed can bypass this entirely if it deems the application critical to system stability or liquidity. Again, this all ties into Dodd-Frank and FSOC and the SIFMU, SIFME designations, the systemically important designations we've talked about. This is another way to reach that goal for Ripple getting its bank charter. We'll see if it's expedited from the process. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs and BNY Mellon joined forces to transform a $7.1 trillion money market industry with tokenized money market funds in collaboration with major asset managers, including BlackRock, Fidelity, and Federated Hermes. I'm telling you, this is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're going. They're tokenizing a $7.1 trillion money market industry together. And obviously, don't lose sight of the fact that BNY Mellon was selected to custody the reserves for real USD for Ripple. And they've had a proof of concept from years and years ago. As you can see, Ripple Ledger right here, Ripple Connected Software, BNY Mellon proof of concept, a huge success. Again, years ago. Will this be employed in some way to help with the conversion of that money market fund and that $7.1 trillion industry there? We have no idea, but we have to see. We'll have to see. But it's on the table. But if they are, and I believe there's going to be some kind of connection some which way or the other, we know the relationship between Hidden Road and the $3 trillion they settle every year, and then the $100 trillion that's about to be tokenized in the blink of an eye, according to Dan Dunney from the DTCC. All of this points to setting the stage for XRP reaching its ultimate goal to become a world reserve bridge currency, which I believe is the ultimate goal here. And let's listen.
Der zeitliche Druck, so schnell wie möglich etwas zu tun gegen diesen drohenden Kollaps. Und da wird man natürlich auf das zurückgreifen, was da ist. Ripple ist da mit seinem Angebot.
Let me just read it because it's easier. I know he's speaking German. Let's listen. to implement CBDCs to time pressure as quickly as possible to do something against this impending collapse of course, one will fall back on what is there. Ripple is there with its offer. And when the time is right for Ripple, then Ripple can definitely become the world reserve bridge currency. There you have it. This is what they're talking about at the German stock market. But they're not talking about it here. The Trump family talks about all the crypto that they own and hold, but they don't talk about XRP other than the tweet that the president made in the early days of his presidency. It's getting interesting, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot in front of us. What will this market infrastructure bill really bring when it becomes law? I think it will bring the opportunity for the XRP ledger to be adopted as a national and international payments protocol to move value around the world. A public good. Eggrag Crypto says market cap analysis for XRP. Choose your Fibonacci target, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at market cap for XRP, Fibonacci 1.272 would give us a $308 billion market cap. Fibonacci 1.414, a $488 billion. And Fibonacci 1.618, a $946 billion market cap. And with that, we know that if we just need to get above $5 to $7, $5-6, and we'll be past Ethereum. That puts us back in the number 2 spot since 2018. And that would be a rightful position to set the stage for us to ultimately become the number 1 crypto in this industry once utility is the price driver. And talking about price a little more here, a chartered market technician named Tony Servino, and I don't know this person, but they predict XRP to hit $13 within the next 42 days. And I don't have a problem with any of it. So I'm going to go ahead and make some room on my calendar. Maybe you could too. 42 days from now. When is 42 days from now, by the way? Let's find out. September 3rd, 2025. It's a Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my calendar there. I got room for it. Let's see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.